$10,000 to $500,000. The lazy method. 10,000 bucks feels like heaps of money, right up until you try to actually grow it. Then it feels like absolutely nothing. It's nearly midnight. You're scrolling through your phone, and somehow you've ended up watching some bloke in a rented Lambo telling you he turned 10 grand into $500,000 in 18 months. He's standing in front of a Sydney penthouse he definitely doesn't own. And you're sitting there thinking, what if I actually had $10,000 to work with? What's realistically possible? Here's what nobody on the internet wants to tell you. You can turn $10,000 into $500,000. The maths is real, the strategy is dead boring. And the people who've actually built generational wealth this way aren't making YouTube videos about it. They're in a Toyota Corolla at the Costco petrol pump and don't even know they're rich. I'm Nick, not a financial advisor, just maths. Let's go. The math's 10,000 to 500,000 is a 50x return. To get there, your money needs to roughly double about 6 times. And how long that takes depends entirely on your annual rate of return. There's a shortcut called the rule of 72. Divide 72 by your return percentage. And that's roughly how many years it takes your money to double. At 8%, it doubles every 9 years. At 10%, every 7. Now, the ASX 200, Australia's top 200 listed companies, has historically returned around 9 to 10% per year, including dividends. The US SP 500 has averaged about 10% nominally over the last 30 years. So if you drop $10,000 into a broad index fund and never touch it, at 10%, you cross $500,000 at around year 41. I know. 41 years sounds like a life sentence. But that's the do-nothing path. That's if you deposit once and forget your password. It gets dramatically better the moment you start adding even small, regular contributions. Meet Sarah. Sarah's 28, lives in Brisbane, earns about $65,000 a year as a marketing coordinator. She drives a 2019 Hyundai i30, rents a unit with carpet that came with the lease, and she's just decided she's done feeling broke. She scrapes together $10,000, opens a brokerage account, and puts it into a broad market index fund. Then she sets up an automatic transfer of $400 a month. That's her entire financial plan. End of year 1, Sarah has about $15,800. End of year 5, she's at $44,000. She's ropeable. 5 years of discipline, and she can't even buy a decent second-hand ute in cash. This is exactly the point where most people pull the money out and decide the whole thing's a scam. Sarah doesn't. She keeps going. By year 10, she's at $112,000, and something shifts. Her portfolio earns about $9,000 that year, just from compounding. She only contributed $4,800. For the first time, the market is doing more work than she is. By year 20, $311,000. By year 30, $760,000. Marketing coordinator from Brisbane. Honda Civic Energy. The maths just made her wealthy. The lazy method, 3 steps. Step 1. Open a brokerage account. In Australia, you're looking at platforms like Vanguard Australia, CommSec Pocket, Stake, or Perler. Most have no minimum deposit and take about 5 minutes on your phone. Step 2. Buy a broad market index fund or ETF. Good starting options in Australia. VAS, Vanguard Australian Shares. VGS, Vanguard International Shares, or A200 from Beta Shares. Fees run around 0.07 to 0. 20% per year. That's roughly $7 to $20 per $10,000 invested, basically nothing. Step 3. Automate monthly contributions. Set and forget. Every payday, money moves from your bank to your brokerage and buys more of the fund. You don't time the market, you don't watch the news, it just runs. That's it. That's the whole thing. Why it works. Spiva publishes data twice a year comparing professional fund managers to plain index funds. In 2024, over 65% of active large-cap fund managers underperformed the index. Stretch that to 15 years, virtually none beat it consistently. Warren Buffett literally bet $1 million in 2008 that a basic index fund would beat a hand-picked basket of elite hedge funds over 10 years. He won. The index returned 126%. The fancy hedge funds returned 36%. He gave the winnings to charity. His actual advice to everyday investors? Buy a low-cost index fund and stop trying to be clever. That's the bloke who's been at it longer than most of us have been alive. The 2 ways people stuff it up. Number 1, panic selling. Research shows that if you'd invested in the market for the last 30 years, but missed just the 10 best days, your returns would be cut in half. Miss the 30 best days, returns drop by about 84%. And most of those best days happen right in the middle of a crash when everyone's convinced it's all going down the drain. Number 2. Fees. This one's a silent killer. Two investors, same $1 million, same 7% return. One pays 0.10% in ETF fees. The other pays 1% to an active fund or advisor. After 30 years, the low-fee investor, hey. Number 2. Fees. This one's a silent killer. Two investors, same $1 million, same 7% return. One pays 0.10% in ETF fees. The other pays 1% to an active fund or advisor. After 30 years, the low-fee investor has about $7.6 million. The high-fee investor has about $5.7 million. That 1% gap quietly cost them nearly $2 million. And many people pay 1.5 to 2% all up. Mate, you're paying more for a worse product. That's the whole trick. The real lever. Here's the thing that should genuinely make you angry. The biggest lever isn't your return. It's how much you contribute. Start with $10,000 and add $200 a month at 8%. You end up with about $399,000 after 30 years. Bump it to $500 a month, $846,000. Go to $1,000 a month, $1.6 million. That jump from $200 to $500 a month? That's $300 extra, a couple of takeaway orders, and a streaming service. That decision alone adds roughly $450,000 to your future net worth. And if you reckon you can't afford $400 a month, listen. $50 a month at 8% over 30 years is still $74,000. $100 a month is $148,000. The lazy method doesn't require you to be loaded. It just requires you to start. Whatever your number is, that's your number. Future you doesn't care if it was $50 or $500. Future you just cares that you started. One quick reality check. As of mid-2026, Australian and global markets are trading near all-time highs. The Shiller-Cape ratio, basically a measure of how expensive stocks are relative to long-term earnings, is elevated. That doesn't mean don't invest. It means plan using 7 to 8% annual returns as your base case, not 10. And it means that when the next correction comes, and it will, don't sell. That's when shares go on sale. Keep buying. The bottom line, $10,000 to $500,000 is real. The strategy is buy a low-cost index fund, automate contributions, and don't sell. That's the whole game. The reason it sounds too simple is that nobody can charge you for it. There's no commission on doing nothing, no upsell on patience. The lazy method is the one financial product the entire industry has a financial incentive to talk you out of. So set it up this week. Tonight if you can. Then leave it alone. In 30 years, when your boring ETF quietly hands you $500,000, you'll be the person at the Costco petrol pump in a 10-year-old Toyota who knew something everyone else missed. Real wealth was never the Lambo. It was always the Corolla.